Midweek Mosh.
Last week, I spoke with the lovely Mount Slatra about their EP that came out on Monday, Divine in Ruin. It's thrashy, it's riffy, it's bouncy. Have a listen to my chat with them where we dive into everything about the EP.
The best alternative music from Birmingham. The Midlands. Mosh. Guaranteed.
I am joined in the studio with the absolutely brilliant Mount Slatra. Hello.
Ooh, hello.
Cheering ourselves.
We can't clap
Yes,
ourselves.
you have to clap yourselves. So I'm going to talk about the way I kind of discovered you, and it was through the Metal to the Masses. So was this your first Metal to the Masses, or have you done it previously?
Yeah, pretty much
our
first one. When we put in the application, I think it was last year, we didn't think we'd get on because from what we'd been told, it was quite a prestigious process of getting on there, and we thought you had to be known. And when we got the email saying that we'd be on, was it February the first heat was?
Yeah.
It was quite a surprise, to be honest. But yeah, and we ended up all the way at the final, which was quite nice.
I saw all of your heats. I think I introduced myself at the semi-final heat. You just blew me away. You've got this insane energy on stage. I believe it's a little bit hypnotic. And moving on actually to the EP. So it's called Divine in Ruin. So this EP, how was it in the recording process? You say that the singles that you released, so Fist of the Fallen, Caught All the Heavens, Soul Thief, you said you kind of got those tracks then remastered for the EP.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do that?
So well, those songs that we released, there was always a plan to put them on an album or an EP. Those came out of the first batch of recordings last December. So we thought we'll do those three first as singles, because those were the first ones we recorded. And then over the year, we were slowly piecing together the other three tracks in the studio. So it seemed quite nice, and I think it's worked out quite well where we've drip fed these songs on into release stages where people know what we sound like. They get a familiarity for the songs. So Soul Thief, for example, is probably our biggest song, and people can come to shows and they already know that one. So it's nice that we've had those out before. In terms of remastering and stuff, it's essentially just doing little tweaks. So this whole entire EP is a makeup of stuff that was made 3 years ago. So in terms of being up to date on our releases, we've still got quite a lot of stuff. But yeah, Mr. X is probably our goofiest one, but in a very twisted way where if you read the lyrics, it's quite disgusting.
So you were talking about how those lyrics in Mr. Axe are quite brutal. For anyone that can tell me the lyrics off the top of their head, which one or which lyric in that song is your favourite?
I liked tearing the screams from bloody lungs, painting the walls in red. Yeah. What else is there?
I like sanity stripped from every bone, fulfilling the need to torment.
Yeah,
it's quite dark, but the thing is, the next thing I go is scream, it's Mr. Axe. It sounds really silly.
That's my one. Scream.
Yeah.
Scream.
It's the equivalent of like watching a Jack the Ripper documentary and then Mr. Tumble comes on or something like that. That's what it feels like, I think, tonally.
But I think what it reminds me of is those slasher films from the 80s, from maybe even the 70s,
Yeah.
where if you watch them back now and you look at the gore, our parents, our grandparents were petrified of those films. Then they put it on, they'd go, you have to watch this. This is genuinely scary.
Yeah.
And you'd look through the whole thing and the gore was so
It's like,
unrealistic and funny.
Mushy intestines that are just like,
You look at it and go, ooh, that's a bit funny.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things of I'm a big fan of horror, and I really like the old sort of slasher movie stuff. And for me, I was like, okay, if we're going to make this song as goofy as it is, I'd rather make it like a slasher movie where you know it's goofy, but when it sounds stupid. Whenever you watch a horror film and you watch the kills on screen and you go, whoa, like that is that sort of thing. That's what I want the song to be like, essentially, and I think it does that.
So the last track on the EP, Soul Thief. So this is, I think, when around the time this was released was around the time that I saw you at Metal to the Masses.
Yeah.
It was a great lead-in, I think, for me to discover your music. Can you tell us a little bit about Soul Thief? It has that like nice punchy intro. It's unforgettable, I think.
I think it's sort of that one I'm glad that one has had such an impact on people that watch our shows live, and just genuinely, we've had people asking us, when are you releasing Soul Thief? Because that's the one that they like. That one to me is sort of a culmination of, I think I'm very proud of that track on the basis that I think we've balanced very well a more vintage style thrash with a modern sensibility and not making the lyrics goofy like a lot of modern... the term party thrash gets thrown around a lot now, where it's sort of bands like Municipal Waste and stuff like that. It's all very much... It's thrash for the sake of thrash, singing a whole lot of nothing into your ear. It's just about sort of like, I threw up because I drank like 8 kegs of beer or whatever, and it's like, okay, cool. But there's not really much meaning behind it. This one's I'm a big fan of T.S. Eliot and a lot of like war poetry from World War II and stuff like that. So, and obviously we use speeches from Charlie Chaplin, from The Great Dictator as well. But yeah, this one's very much... This one I would say, even if I didn't want it is anti-war. But yeah, I think this one is probably... it'd be probably my highlight track, I would say.
I agree.
Yes. That, even when we play it live.
You see it spread throughout the audience as well, which I really like. I like being able to sort of win people over with that.
Yeah, I think that's
see them having a good time.
That's your last perspective of how a show is going. Because every show we've played, regardless of how many people are there, we always have people there doing the chant at the end. And to me, that's my reassuring point of, okay, people actually like this, which is nice. And it's the same at Metal to the Masses was great, because it was the first time that we were playing to crowds where, they're actual metal fans and there are people there just to watch new music, and it was really cool. People either coming to watch us again or, saying that they really enjoyed the song or whatever. And I think it's nice that stands out as one of our live songs as well. But I think it stands well on itself as a song recording wise.
Were there any tracks from the EP in terms of your live show, which we'll talk a little bit about your EP launch show in a short moment, but then any tracks from the EP that are your favourite to perform live, or maybe your least favourite? Are there any that are particularly tricky? Or
I know he's going to say Battalion.
Yeah. What is it about Battalion that's so tricky?
For me, live, it's like it drags on a bit, and then when the thrash bit comes, and my right hand is going absolutely berserk. And then you play the songs faster live, so my hand is just going mental.
And you've got Soul Thief at the end of it as well.
And that's all right hand action as well.
You've really sold this EP, George.
Last but not least, your EP release show. It's next week. It's at Spin the Black Circle in Worcester. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect.
It's pretty much a full-on assault musically, I would say. So we've teamed up with 2 bands that we made really, really good friends with at the very first heat of Metal to the Masses. So one was Unak, who are based over in Worcestershire. They're a sort of doom sludge band, a band that did really, really well on Metal to the Masses that, again, we thought should have made it through with us. And then another band, Destination Disease, who are based in Birmingham. Really, really nice guys. We couldn't fault them. Really, really great. Sort of death groove style stuff, quite Pantera in my opinion. I definitely recommend going to listen to Unak, who they have catalogue stuff on Spotify, and Destination Disease, who have just come out with their new single, Decapitator.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's exciting, isn't it? It's going to be a small one.
It's nice to have a show that we can kind of really, really think about and piece together our own night, tailor it to what we want for the fans and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it was that initially when the guys suggested having an EP launch show. I've ran events before and I was a bit like, because you have to put so much effort into doing it. And then, but at this point now, I'm sort of like, okay, I'm happy it's happening and it should be good. And Spin the Black Circle is a really, really great venue if people haven't been. It's a tiny little cafe during the day, isn't it, in Worcester? But by night, they sort of turn the upstairs into basically a massive stomping venue up at the top.
Very nice rum as well.
They're very nice. They have good beer as well. But yeah, smack bang on Worcester city centre, really, isn't it? So, and that's on the 6th of September. Doors are at 8. You can get your tickets online at Eventbrite via our Instagram. They are £7.50 online, and if you want to get them on the door, they are £10.
If I was to play any song from the EP, which one would you like me to play now?
Hello, we're Mount Slatra, and this is our song of our new EP, Define and Ruin, called Mr. Axe.
Very horror inspired. And a little fact for you, it's actually Emma on bass who is doing those high-pitched horror screams. That was Mr. Axe from Mount Slatra. And if you want to get tickets for their EP show on Saturday at Spin the Black Circle in Worcester, go and find them on Instagram at Mount Slatra. They've got all the links in their bio. Just, come down and enjoy it.
The best alternative music from Birmingham, the Midlands, Mosh, guaranteed.